Hi, this is Monique, and so today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different kind of video. I'm kind of reacting to the Childish Gambino video that came out a little while ago. It's trending as #1 on YouTube right now, but I feel like because it is such a example of visual arts, that I have to talk about it. Usually we only talk about photography and like YouTube and so on this channel, but yeah. So before we do anything, don't forget to subscribe to my channel up here or down there. So the video is called This is America, and it's by Childish Gambino. So go look it up right now. That's like the alter ego or nickname of Donald Glover. He's a musician and an actor from the United States. As you may or may not know, I'm not from the United States. I'm from Canada. So when I see things on the news lately, it's kind of like looking into a fishbowl. I don't know. We don't have the same issues in Canada. We have similar issues, but they are not the same. So this last month really has seemed like the world is going crazy. And honestly, the first time I watched that Childish Gambino video, This is America, I thought it could be summed up in that phrase, the world is going crazy. Because the video, which I can't show here, but the video starts off with a beautiful kind of music and a guitar, and he's dancing. He doesn't have a shirt on, and what makes me think that he doesn't have a shirt on is because he's really talking about dancing and being entertaining in front of the camera lens and black bodies entertaining people in front of the camera. I think that's why he has no shirt on. But that's just me. I don't know. It could be some other reason. But anyhow, he's dancing and being entertaining. The camera pans away and then it pans back. And it's literally, a scene out of like Al-Qaeda or something where the guy's got a bag over his head and then Donald Glover gets behind him and shoots him. And I mean, that is totally shocking. But to be honest, the first time I watched it, I wasn't shocked. And I find that kind of idea that I wasn't shocked, shocking. So, yeah. And so I watched it. And then people say that the pose that he's in is like the Jim Crow pose. So, I mean, there's lots of symbolism in the video. I'm not going to go step by step through the entire video. But basically what I found when I watched it was that you're kind of zeroed in on him and the music, because the music changes a couple times in the video, and there's some dancers and they seem all happy, like happy-go-lucky, we're dancing in front of you, and something is happening behind them. Like, I think there was some violence with the police and people like breaking through cars or cars being ransacked, and then there's a burning car, and then there's people on a balcony up ahead, and there's a man who jumps off of the balcony and commits suicide, and then there's I think it's one of the four, I think there's 4 horsemen of apocalypse in the Bible, right? And the first one goes riding by and the police come after them, and then you see the police in the foreground and it's right in front of your eyes. And so, I don't know, it just seems like the video is kind of saying this is what's happening in America right now. It's absolute chaos, but we don't care that it's absolute chaos, just as long as we get entertained and we still get to see people dancing and so on. So, yeah, there's certain parts in it where they talk about, well, obviously, there's a part where I think is a reference to the Charleston shooting, because it was still very shocking. I don't know, I think maybe I felt shocked that I couldn't close my eyes and be like, oh my god, I can't believe I just saw that. I felt shocked that I just had my eyes peeled and I kept watching it over and over again, and I kind of didn't flinch. There's a part where he walks into a room where there's a choir, and I think this is the part that's referencing Charleston, where that guy walked into the church and shot up all the parishioners at a Bible study. Well, Donald Glover shoots up all the members of the choir, and then they carefully hand the gun off to somebody in like a little red cloth and everything, and he just, yeah, I don't know. It just seems kind of like a reference to that, like we value guns more than we value people. I don't know. I think it's a very well crafted video, and I watched it 4 times, and I don't really feel like watching it again. It seems like carnage, basically. Like you're watching carnage. But it's like the world is carnage right now. And I feel like what I said before at the beginning, like to me, watching the news in the United States is like watching, like looking in at fish from outside of a fishbowl. You know, that's what it seems like to me. With all of these people, like today, Bob Marley's granddaughter got stopped because she rented an Airbnb, and the people who were across the street thought that, you know, a girl with dreadlocks and her 2 other friends were robbing the place when they'd actually rented the place, you know. And like I think they're suing the police because like they locked down the street and had 7 squad cars and pulled them out of the car and made them put their hands up and all that. It just seems like literally every single day there's a new shooting, or somebody had some sort of plane wreck, or some sort of mass murder thing, or some sort of outrageous news or injustice is happening in the world. And a few weeks ago, I had talked to a friend of mine on Facebook, and I said, you know, is this the state of the world that we're living in? You know, and they were like, yes, this is what the world is like now, and there's no going back. So I feel like that is what the video is about. And I'm not sure what's happening at the end where he's running. At first I thought maybe he's just trying to run away from the carnage of the United States right now. Other people say that maybe he's trying to like have an illusion to get out, or, you know, he's running from the police or something like that, where, you know, there's lots of violence against black people and the police in the United States. Who knows what he had planned for that. I guess you can interpret it lots of different ways. I hope that Donald Glover comes out and tells us what he meant by that last part of the video, or by the whole video. But, you know, I have to say, overall, it was enjoyable to watch it, like to listen to the music. And there was one thing that I noticed when I first watched the video and I was trying to listen to the music and trying to like listen to the words. At one point it's gibberish. And then he's actually saying things like, oh, you know, you want to look at our, you know, he's saying that you want to look at us and have you like be entertained. And I think there's one part where it's like, black man gets his money or something like that in the lyrics, and it's like, get your money. And I think that's the part where, you know, the choir is shot, and it seemed like, you know, like he was trying to say life is becoming trivial. People don't care about life anymore. All they care about is money and being entertained and all that, and not actually about people anymore, you know, or violence is taking over society, and we don't actually care about the important things, which is not being entertained, which is actually people, you know, and being able to live your life in peace without all this crazy stuff going on. So I think it was a very beautiful video in that it was ugly, but it actually told a proper story. It had a meaning, and it kind of reminded me of something that my dad told me when I was a little kid. And we were listening to music, and I had listened to this new pop song, and I was really enamored with it, and I was listening to it over and over and over again, even though it had no real meaning in the song. It was just like, yeah, I love you, yeah, whatever. And my dad was like, that's what you're listening to. You're listening to garbage, just yeah, someone dancing around and entertaining you, but they're not actually saying anything to you. You're not actually getting anything out of it. You're not learning anything out of it. So while I appreciate the video, I think that it's well crafted and it's a piece of art, I'm not going to be watching it again, because I don't think that you can watch stuff like that over and over again. At least I can't watch those sorts of things over and over again. I could watch them a couple times, but, you know, I don't want to watch violence over and over again, specifically. So, but like I said, I'm not in the United States. I don't have to live that life every day. I see that sort of thing happening, and I mean, it affects my race, so I feel like I could relate to some of the things that I'm seeing, but it was just really shocking to have somebody basically say exactly what you're seeing every day. It was just really, really a good piece of art. Anyhow, so that's all I have to say. Go watch the Childish Gambino video if you like. I'll put a link to it in the bio of this video as well. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye.